Hello YouTube artist, I'm Kelly Hernig and welcome to In the Studio. Today I'm sharing my halfway point through my 100-day project, 100 Days of Words and Things, inside my concertina sketchbook. And I want to tell you that I'm really not enjoying it the last 20 days. And I will tell you why. I've become tedious, detail-oriented, and not loose. So I find myself tensioning up and just like, instead of smiling and being delightful and being loose. So I'm going to share with you the progress so far, but I'm also going to talk you through how I'm going to work from getting out of that tightness into my loose style again. So let's go take a look. For my 100 days of words and things, I am using my studio palette for 2025. These are all the colors that it makes. I love this palette so far. And I am mostly using this Princeton Aqua Elite Long Round number 8 because the point allows me to do everything, even the writing, which is really nice for this project. I'm using a concertina book, the C. White of Brighton concertina book in the A5 size, and you can see it's just a little bigger than my hand. So I'm really enjoying this size a lot. And what I like about a concertina book, if you don't know what that is all the pages are connected. So it's like a giant accordion. So that everything is connected, and it's allowing me to play with composition, tell a little bit of a story, and to have a nice flow with color, with movement, with design, and with different elements. Now you'll see stuff on the back side. That was my last year's 100-day project, and I'm using the other side for this year's. So when I started out really big and enjoying myself. I'm about 47 days in now, so almost at the halfway point. And I really liked this, and I was starting with more wintry colors, so I had the nice blue-gray going. I really enjoyed the way that it was looking. And you can see that it's got a great design. This kind of comes into this, which goes into this. And I'm continuing the blue from the words. I really love that blue. And then it went here to here to here. So it's really kind of flushing your eye through and giving you a little bit of curvature as you are going through it. And you can see that I've got yellow all throughout as well. And so I'm going into my next colors now. And you can see that I've got a little more burnt sienna in here, and I'm starting to add different greens. Green is probably one of my most used colors because I like green. I'm surrounded by green. I live on 10 acres, so it has an effect on me for sure. So you can see I've got a really nice flow of big things, and this is where everything starts to change. So I started getting really tiny again. I like the tininess here because all the little elements, see how they're kind of almost all the same size? So they create almost a little diamond shape outside of this little square shape. So I was really fine with that, and I like that a lot. I love the big leaf going into the big letters. I'm using the letters found, so I've got F-O-U-N-D going through here periodically as like a discovery. And you can see that I've got really nice flow from here. It kind of goes up and then over. But it was here that I started going off kilter, and I can tell you why. I started putting littler things in here, little, even more little than little tiny bees. What happens when I get little is it starts to become tedious because I want the details. Even though I'm trying to stay loose, I want you to understand what it is. So I wanted you to know that those were bees. I wanted you to know that this was a dice, that this was a ring. Instead of just dealing with shapes, I got caught up in the details, which is a bad thing for a former photorealist, which means I could basically copy a picture and into a painting. And I don't want that in my watercolor journey. My watercolor journey is about loose, loose, loose. So from here, you can see that it starts to get more tedious, right? I've got this little zebra here. I've got this cool little branch, but then I started adding really tiny leaves on here. I've got this little duck, and then I've got this little marble, and I'm starting to go a little bigger again, but it's not quite as big. Look how little this leaf is versus this leaf. right? So it's a lot smaller. Instead, I should be getting bigger and more robust and getting bolder in my journey. And you can see here's the O now from the F, so F-O. And this piece here, I really loved when I put the curious and this piece here. In fact, I love it so much that I'm probably going to do a class in it, just because I love the idea of words and things and just the beauty of the combination that's not really typical. But again, I've got a nice long pencil, and then I went and added an egg and a turtle. So again, it's more squishy details. Look at the size of them. They're pretty small. I mean, that's my thumb. You can see I've got two things there as big as my thumb. It needs to start getting bigger. So I'm starting to tell myself now, okay, Kelly, bigger, 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 and loose, loose, loose. It's hard coming out of being tight and being small and trying to go big again. So I gave myself a big card. I put just some little colors, like a color swatch here, and then I drew in a sunflower just to give it a bigger shape. Even though it's a tiny element, I wanted it to feel quite big with the sunflower in there. I like how big this little ribbon is, and look what it does to the composition. So this kind of comes up, to me, it kind of comes up, over, and then around that way. You can see these two are similar in colors. These three are similar in colors. So either way, you can either go up and over, or you can come down and around and over. It just depends on what is catching your eye at the moment. And from there, I went into this. I did the envelope in the back, and you can see it's tedious again. I've got a ladybug in there. I've got a butterfly stamp. I added the postmarks. I added a coffee stain on the little piece of letter. But then I tried to make myself do big, big, big. So then I've got three little flowers there. I did a big heart. And you can tell that, look how small this little turtle and this egg is. And then this, again, thumb and thumb. So those are my details where everything else is getting bigger. So I'm being able to take a deeper breath now and just relax and be like, okay, it's working. I'm getting bigger. I'm getting bolder again. So this is good. Here's the U for my found. And then I go into Beauty in the Broken. And I found this leaf when I was in Florida at a workshop, and I really enjoyed the brokenness of it. So Beauty in the Broken, and I kind of made this slant down towards the leaf. See that empty space in there? So from here, you kind of go this way into this big block. And I did this as a dark green to kind of stop myself into, okay, no more small stuff. Let's keep big. Let's keep big in this area. Let's make everything kind of flow nice. And then I went into the little bitty area up here. So this is a little nail that has a number on it, and I really like the number, but again, it's making me keep tedious. And then I wanted to just do like a little ball chain on it to make it a little bit of a interest instead of just having it as a ribbon. And I like the coloration of these connecting with that, connecting with the orange here, and then whatever is here. So I'm trying to stay in more of this orange so that it kind of moves your eye through this way. Now you can see again the tediousness is here, right? In that little bitty area, but I loved it so much because it broke up this big guy and this guy. So a letter normally grabs your attention because we're humans, so we look at letters and try to put them into a word right away. So having this big space and then this N right here and so much green, I thought it would be interesting to add that little space. But I can tell you that I'm feeling much better now coming out of this area back here, which was absolutely driving me crazy because of all the tightness and the little things and just trying to get all of the details. I hope that you're seeing that. So if you find yourself tensing up or like really being kind of moody or dissatisfied, ask yourself why, because that's what I was doing. When I was painting these, I was enjoying the little details and stuff, but I don't want that to become my habit in watercolor. I want it to become joyful and loose and using big brushes and big swatches of color, right? I don't want to have to just stay on the tip of my brush all the time. Now that we've talked about the journey of becoming loose, then tight, then loose again, let me show you the number of items. I've painted 47, and that way you can see how I've gone about this. Number 1 is the pencil. Number 2 is this ice block. Number 3 is this big leaf. Number 4 is this tiny penguin. Number 5 is the big penguin. Number 6 is this little charm. Number 7 is the heart. Number 8 is this piece of paper. Number 9 is this berry. Number 10 is this paper clip and the little fabric up here. Number 11 is the art tag. Number 12 is the marble. Number 13 is this big leaf. Number 14 is the F. Number 15 is the rose hips. Number 16 is the rabbit. Number 17 is the circle with the word stories and the little colors. 18 is the leaf. 19 is these two. 20 is these two. 21 is the dice. 22 is the little bee skip and the little bees. 23 is the branch. 24 is the zebra. 25 is the little duck on the marble. 26 is the leaf. 27 is the O. 28 is the pencil. 29 is the word curious. 30 is the little tree up here. 31 is the egg. 32 is the turtle. 33 is the ribbon. 34 is this little tag part. 35 are these 3 flowers. 36 is the heart. 37 is the big postage mark envelope here. 38 is the U. 39 is Beauty and the Broken. 40 is the leaf. 41 is the fox. 42 is this little bitty ladybug. I wanted just a touch of red in there. 43 is the tag. 44 is the nail. 45 is the lotto ticket. 46 is the ring with the little flower arrangement. And 47 is the N. So you can see there's a lot of things in here, 47 so far. But I want to say too that most of these have taken me 5 to 10 minutes. Some of the smaller things, like the egg and the turtle shell there, and the ladybug, of course, are 5 minutes, maybe even less, and the heart too. But the fox takes a little more time because I'm thinking about his colors and about his face and that kind of thing. The text takes me probably about 10 minutes and something like that. The littler words like the curious here, that was probably 5 minutes because I basically used one color and I was able to stroke on the brushes. And what I've done with the 5 to 10 minutes is really giving myself like, okay, go. I didn't want it to take me a long time because I know that if it's going to take me 20 minutes, I get really antsy on something on the 100-day project. I know that it needs to take me 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. Because otherwise, it takes too much time during the week. I know that sounds crazy, but think about how much time you dive into your creativity and painting and that kind of thing. So this is just to keep me going, where it's one of 10 projects I'm doing in a day. So I knew that I wanted it to have limited time. But I'm really excited with the way that it's going. I can't wait to have this finished. And I am learning a lot. I am learning a lot about my studio palette for 2025. This is usually what I use it for, is the 100-day project. And I'm learning that it has colors in it that I normally don't use, but I am enjoying them. It's also letting me see the limitations of this colors. Before, my studio palettes used to have 18 colors. Now they only have 9, so I've cut my colors in half. And I am missing having a little bit more colors, but it is a lesson on teaching me to mix a little more differently and get more familiar with the colors that I have on my palette. I guess that's the beauty of a limited palette, is you get to know exactly what it will do and what it won't do. So I hope me sharing these struggles, but also the delights of doing the 100-day project will make you reach for your sketchbook and just start something every day for 5 to 10 minutes and see what happens. I am enjoying my growth. I am enjoying getting out of the tediousness and looking forward to more loose, bigger things to finish off this 100-day project. We'll see how it goes. If you were inspired by today's project, please like, comment, or subscribe. It will help my channel grow, and I'd really appreciate that. Thanks so much for watching.